Welcome to Bits and Bones, everybody. I am Mortheous, and with me tonight we have Joe, Tim, and Sam. Happy New Year, everybody. How are you gents tonight?
Happy New Year. You're the first show on RTO, actually, Mort. So,
Woohoo!
Nice.
yeah. Welcome. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year,
Happy New
everybody.
Year to you too. So I'm gonna be real transparent and honest. I probably I'm gonna try to stay up for like the duration, but I might just pass out. So I'm gonna try to see how long
Completely,
I can last.
Tim stayed up too
completely
late last night doing theology.
Yeah.
It'd be like that sometimes. So, as the title says, we're talking about the quote unquote modern audience and how it may or may not be affecting First Light in a couple months, and to let everybody know what we're talking about as far as the modern audience. Modern audience, per Google, is says modern audience refers to the perceived demographic in entertainment, movies, games characterized by demands for diverse representation, gender, race, LGBTQ, social relevance, and inclusivity, often featuring female leads or non-traditional heroes. However, the term is controversial, with some viewing it as a mythical, undefined group used to justify product changes that alienate existing fans, while others see it as a real, evolving group that creators fail to effectively engage, leading to commercial underperformance as consumers still seek core themes like uh, aspiration and entertainment over forced messaging. So that is the overall theme of tonight's show. But I figured getting a definition for people that might not know what exactly we're talking about when we say "quote unquote" the modern audience. That is what we are talking about. And what are your first thoughts when you gentlemen hear something like that?
Yeah. I'm just hoping it'll actually be okay. And you know what? People don't really care for it. I mean, like people don't really think of modern audiences as much as like these companies really actually put it out to be. So it's pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, um, my whole thing is, um, I like the whole modern audience thing has been around for like a decade plus at this point. And honestly, I'm a bit like, like the modern audience stuff hasn't really worked a whole lot, in the past decade. So why why are they pushing, why are they still trying to push this in the gaming industry if it's not working?
And as a just personal anecdote, Witcher fan, and the books have a lot of progressive themes, and a lot of the times when I've been online talking about the potential way they're going with CDPR is going down the road of woke, the typical rebuttal is, but the Witcher books that were written in the 80s had progressive themes. Yeah, you can do progressive themes without shoving it down people's throat. You can do progressive themes properly woven into stories. You don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater and
Yeah,
do progressive themes to the determinant of proper storyline.
Well, specifically with James Bond, and I know I'm kind of jumping the point here. I did read the interview in advance that
Okay.
that you were bringing up, because obviously kind of being tangentially tied to the Bond movie, to the Bond community, I kind of had to.
Right, and I kind
And
of expected you to, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring it up because I know you're a Bond guy, so
yeah, so look, here's kind of the thing about like James Bond in particular. Like as a character, like, coming out of like World War II and the Cold War, when the character was created, like when they say Bond has to, modernize for like, modern sensibilities, like to an extent that's true. Like obviously I don't think that we want to, be getting like a modern day James Bond that, backhands, women all the time like Sean Connery did. But at the same
right.
time, like,
I'm gonna ask you this, Darcy. I mean, is James Bond's womanizing an important part of the character?
yes, it is actually, because yeah, I mean his womanizing is actually a key part of his character, because um spoiler, it's a way for him to cope with or rather to cope slash avoid like him having to deal with like his personal trauma.
Right,
That's how,
he's a broken hero.
yeah, like, and I think people misunderstand. I think that's one thing that people misunderstand. Like obviously some people have glorified that wrongly, but that is a character flaw that he has, because he is a broken hero. That kind of the same thing with Geralt from The Witcher, as I understand. Like
Right,
he does
absolutely broken hero.
the womanizing thing for very much, the same reason, depending on how depending on how you play the character, at least in the games. Um,
Even in the books, he's also a womanizer. Sure, he's
yeah,
mostly faithful to Yen, but they're not together all the time. And a man has needs.
right. But like, so there are two ways I kind of interpret the, modern audience thing. Like, because they did that like the first time that, you know, they said we needed to modernize Bond for the audiences. It was in the 90s, and people were really afraid that, that Pierce Brosnan's Bond was going to be, like too modern. And basically what they did with the 90s was they made the Bond girls more less like damsels in distress and more like women of action, right? Which kind of inspired like, other female characters like Laura Croft, for example. Um right? So like I have no problem with that. And again, they modernized Bond a bit with Daniel Craig, making him again like more of a broken hero who was womanizing to cover up past trauma. Like I don't have any problem with them modernizing the character if they do it properly, but if they're going to like shove like woke propaganda down people's throat, then yeah, we're not gonna wanna buy it. So, um, and like Bond, and yeah, that's all I have to say for now, basically. So. Did I get rumbled or?
Nope. That was
No, I still
that
hear
was
you.
me there. Uh, interviewer, Monster Mine. One of the things that makes Bond such a memorable character is people is the people that surround him. Can you share some insight on who the Bond girls are and how they relate to the story? Emborg. What I think is so fun this time is that uh, it's a Bond origin story, so so you really get to tag along with this young man's step into this, world of shadows, the world of espionage. Everyone who's around him are these kind of old hands in the world. So he's really the one that uh, kind of like the new kid on the block, and that goes for the women as well. So obviously we have uh, uh, but yeah, I that's a name that I can't pronounce. Not even going to try.
Let me
Just
see.
doesn't compute.
Uh, oh yeah, fuck that. I'm not trying that either.
But he was also meet some women in the field who are these kinds of seasoned agents that will be running circles around him a little bit, and that's a lot of fun. I don't personally have an I don't think I'd have an issue with Bond girls, quote unquote, running circles around Bond because again, it's origin Bond.
Now, what would be
Just stubbing his toes and everything. So he's gonna get schooled by older agents at that point. It's how he responds
now
to the,
what would be funny and what I would do if I were Bond, because if I were the writer, because right they want to make like a zoomer, they want to make Bond a zoomer male, which eh I'm not I have issues with that in and of itself. Like Bond should be a bit older, like mid-30s, but I digress.
like a millennial.
Right, but like putting that aside, I do know enough about Zoomers to know, like, if they're going to have a Zoomer Bond male, like, uh, in the field, like, there should definitely be like a cougar a Bond girl, and
Right, and obviously the cougar is going to run circles around him.
well, and I mean, he should bed like the cougar, basically.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, like like
That a little bit of wishful thinking on your part there, Sammy.
well, partially, but also yeah, I know Zoomer males too. So
Facts.
yeah, so
Monster. Bond is known for being a smooth talker and at times a womanizer. Will he be? Will we seeing that as they were saying on stage before? The character Bond has evolved, so he's evolved through the decades, and obviously we reflect modern values. So it's not going to be your old school Bond, which would be tone deaf this day and age, right? He's a modern guy, and I think this question specifically is where a lot of the issue has been coming this week, and that it's a matter of how much of a quote unquote modern guy he is
yeah,
in the game. Because let's face it, we still have football players in 2025 being this, and people have no problem.
Yeah, it's not even like it's not even the modern guy thing that bothers me. It's the oh, we don't want to be tone deaf. And if I were the interviewer, I would have been like, tone deaf to what?
Right.
That
Unfortunately, the interviewer didn't follow up. I
right.
also wish he had.
That that question that question there, like, in particular, though, like, we don't wanna be tone deaf. It's like, yeah, tone deaf to what? So
Right. Tone deaf to what? And if what are you going to quote unquote ignore so you aren't seen as tone deaf? Are you going
yeah,
to abandon the current long-standing audience to quote unquote not be tone deaf?
exactly.
And let's face it, that's a big fucking problem.
Yeah, it ab
What Netflix did, Net, Netflix Witcher, they literally threw the long-standing, pre-existing audience and fan base out the fucking window for quote unquote modern audience. And Lauren Histress is everybody can have their version of The Witcher. Unfortunately, Lauren, your version of The Witcher lost its main fucking actor and is trash.
well, let's talk at that for a sec because Netflix even did that with their own IP of Stranger Things, right?
Right?
Um, Stranger Things, which I've never seen, but as far as
I've
I'm
seen,
aware, like,
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
yeah, I mean, I've seen like clips, but like I've never seen a full episode. But from what I understand, like there are already gay characters in Stranger Things.
Right?
But I guess the way the last like I guess the way this last season has progressed, they went so overboard with it that even like more progressive fans like Penn of the sandwich makers were like, yeah, no, this is a bit much.
Yeah. When you're losing the fan base that your target quote unquote modern audience that you're actually targeting, when you're losing them, that's a problem.
Yeah,
Number one, I'm kind of surprised you actually found that viewer base, which okay, not they're not a myth. They do exist, but how do you capture them when you usually can't? And my other issue is how do you capture them while not shitting on the current fan base, which that's a lot of the issue and why people like you and I, Sammy, have such vitriol for the term modern audiences because they usually literally chuck us out the goddamn window
yeah.
for modern audience.
I am s- I am still like I don't know. I'm conflicted because like on the one hand, I still am excited for this game and I still want it to be good. And
Right.
I know I said on the last episode of the year that I was probably going to pre-order it. But now, given this news,
Unfortunately, this interview,
like I was going to pre-order it, but now I'm kind of like, I mean, $70 is a lot. So, um, unless I get like a PS, gift card for my birthday or something, like I'm not too keen on
right?
like
$70 is a lot, and this game director decided to open his fucking mouth.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that there will be. I'm sure that there will be like, early game. Like I know that people in my circle, some of them will be able to like play the game a bit early.
Right.
And I will say this, like, I don't want um I don't want spoilers, but all I want is for someone to be able to tell me if it's woke or not, like ahead of time. So
Something that I wish would have been available in last week's uh, information when Lenny Kravitz was revealed. Monster Vine, can you share some more insight into Lenny Kravitz's character and what the initial pitch for him was like? Emborg, we needed someone who was larger than life. We needed someone who had that kind of charisma, and we also wanted to take Bond to the most dangerous place we could find. Going to the black market arms hub on the shore of uh, Mauritania. Uh, we needed someone who uh, could kind of bring that personality, like someone who could uh, really kind of drive this character forward. So when Lenny Kravitz came on board, he was instrumental in shaping the character, and so he really brought a lot of the character with him. So we worked together on deciding how he looks, how he talks, and it was a lot of fun. It was a pleasure. So basically, the way this translates to me is Lenny had a lot of free reign to create the character.
well, I mean, I guess that's good.
Right. So basically, it's going to be whatever this character's name is, played by Lenny Kravitz. So just I know they couldn't do this because of royalties or whatever, but just make the character's name Lenny Kravitz at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What kind of research went into creating a lot of these over the top action scenes? We just got into a lot of fights and drove a car off a cliff. That's pretty funny if they actually did, but that's fun. Obviously, they can't do that because you're gonna crash and burn alive. No. Actually, your question is kind of makes me want to say that I think it's important to say that there are a lot of spy work in there as well. There's stealth, which IO Interactive is good at stealth games because that's what they do with the Hitman series. Uh, that, and kind of like the finer, social infiltration stuff like that. It's not all exposed. It's, and personally, that's why I think IO was the right developer to go with a James Bond game for quote unquote new generation of gamers because Hitman is basically James Bond without the name James Bond.
Yeah.
And traditionally, the Hitman games have been pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah, the only thing that I really have to the only thing that I don't like about the Hitman games, or I should say the only thing I don't like about the new Hitman games, or the Hitman game, depending on like if you play as one, whole thing, is I don't like the fact that you have to like be connected online to play it. and like everything syncs that
Right.
online. That's kind of gay, and I hope that
Yeah,
they.
you should. They stop that bullshit. You shouldn't have to play. It shouldn't have to be online to play a fucking single player game.
Yeah, or at least like it should be like an optional thing. Like if I own more than like one, um, you know, if I own more than one console or something, or if I had like a gaming PC, then yeah, sure. But like they haven't ported it over to the Mac yet, as far as I know, and yeah. So also Blissfit, if you're watching, no, Mortheous and I are not in your top 5, sir. So,
What horny posters?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the top five of horny posters for BlissFit is BlissFit, 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 and BlissFit.
Yeah,
He outranks us all.
he does.
He outranks us all when he's sleeping.
That
Yeah.
reminds me of a Dave Chappelle skit.
Yes.
Dylan, Dylan, and Dylan. Oh.
But yeah, back to Bond. What else what else was jumped out at you in this interview?
Uh, uh, Monster Vine. A big part of being how to read a room and blending in, because if you say or do the wrong thing, you will be exposed. Can you share insight on how the spy work and social mechanics will be in game? Uh, we have a kind of big social sandbox because the game is basically about creative approaches. How are you going to get through this and achieve this mission? uh, there's this objective that you have, and that there's a lot of social stuff going on, a lot of interesting stuff to engage with, and creative ways of getting through it. I wish he had actually gone into more detail about this and actually referenced the Hitman games, because then we would understand what the fuck he's talking about here.
Yeah. Well, like I've seen the combat, gameplay, which looks pretty good, but like, so here's my thing
Right.
is will the because like the thing with the Hitman games is like you're not really supposed to go and like, I mean, yeah, some players can shoot their way through everything right in the Hitman games, but you're
Right.
not you're not
You're not
supposed
supposed to.
to. Right? But like based on
Right.
some of the gameplay footage, like it will allow you like the environments look fully destructible and like you should be able to blast away. So like my whole question is like
Right.
is this game going to like penalize you for like, doing shootouts or um
Going in, guns blazing.
yeah. Like, and I've because I have no problem with them doing like a stealthy spy mechanic, but have it be more like, well, maybe how you play through a mission affects how the outcomes or whatnot, and you get different maybe endings for different you know like make it more of like an RPG, that type of thing. So
Right. Right. Directly affect the outcomes, depending on how you whether or not you go in stealth or guns blazing.
That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
All right, I've got this other article.
It'd be also really kind of cool.
Well, on the opposite side of things. Go ahead.
What would be really cool is like as you're going along, like if you're like wanting to go ahead and do like the main line, you could just do it like for that. But if you kind of mess up on one thing, then you have to have like everybody react to you and like just kind of like have some sort of like um kind of like a scale. Like you could be like, oh, okay, well, this is what's going on. Like somebody's gonna be like told, oh, well, this person's something else that we don't know of. That would be kind of fun to see.
I agree. On the opposite side of the spectrum, I have an article. Let's see, about Lords of the Fallen 2 and how it was revealed during the Game Awards that they're going to reject political correctness and promise attractive women in revealing outfits. Uh, CI Games has made it stand clear. The studio behind Lords of the Fallen 2 wants to distance the sequel from political correctness and bring back more traditional approach to character design, including attractive female characters with revealing armor. Lords of the Fallen 2 was one of the standout games at the Game Awards 2025, where it debuted the first gameplay trailer. Even better, players will not have to wait long to get their hands on it, as the Souls-like sequel scheduled to launch next year. Women in revealing armor confirmed. Marek Tominsky, the founder and CEO of CI Games, explained on X that the sequel is deliberately avoiding political correctness and offered context for the decision. Many of you asked why the game intentionally used uh, initially used body type A and body type B. He said, referring to the original version that avoided explicit gender distinctions. Hexworks started in early 2020 as an independent studio owned by CI Games. At first, political correctness and information leaks prevented many decisions from going through me, he said.
interesting.
Yeah.
Since late 2024, I've
Oh. Did he get rumbled?
when asked directly whether the game would feature attract. I mean,
So I think I'm unable to, to stay on, unfortunately.
did I get rumbled?
Yeah, you got rumbled. Yeah.
God damn it! Oh, all right. Bring that article back. All right. When asked directly whether the game would feature attractive female characters and revealing armor, Zeminski responded with a clear yes. No,
That's good.
no inclusivity. This position is consistent with statements Zeminski made back in 2025 when he emphasized that PI games titles would not include forced inclusion inclusivity elements designed to fit political or social agendas. Uh, that view is supported by Ryan Hill, CI Games head of marketing, who told shareholders that the studio's priority is player enjoyment and pushing agendas represents a significant commercial risk, and he's absolutely right. Like we were just talking about with 007 First Light, when you push something that players aren't going to be fond of, it's going to do damage to your game and its perception.
Yep.
What they should be
Absolutely.
do what they should be doing, like Lords of the Fallen 2 is doing, is focus on player enjoyment first, and then if you can manage to squeeze in your message, then do that. But you don't force the message to the determinant of player enjoyment.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
No, it's not. It really is not. Especially when it comes to just
Uh,
you know, especially for like the mythical wider audiences. Like, I mean, just have at least like a focus rather than just like a to a broader audience. And then like some people are not gonna like your game. Like you don't need to have everybody,
right,
play
right.
it.
You're never ever going to be able to capture the entire spectrum of quote unquote gamers because we all like different aspects of the hobby.
Right.
And that's the thing. I'm not even saying, and I'm sure you gentlemen would agree. It's not that like you can't have a message in your games, but you should actually be able to write the story properly so you can convey your message along with fun gameplay and player engagement.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
But yeah, that's all that I really had for this week's episode, gents. And I knew we had when I saw the 007 interview, I knew we had to talk about it, and I didn't know how much of the episode we would talk about that. But I
Yeah.
also wanted to contrast it with Lords of the Fallen, who's seemingly going the completely opposite end of the spectrum and doing everything they can to not put quote unquote real world politics into their video games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but between all the woke stuff and rising game prices, like the AAA industry is really going to price itself out of business at this rate.
Yeah.
They're going to price themselves out of business, and then you've got thankfully we have in the indies and AA developers that are coming up and making good games at a fraction of the budget and selling them at sometimes 20, 30, 40, $50, which is, let's face it, a better price point for mostly everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wasn't too bad of a news cycle, but I mean, it was pretty short.
Right.
Yeah.
When you've got things like the 007 thing, it's things like that like dominate the cycle.
Yeah. I agree. Well, I think I'm good. I mean, I have nothing really else to report on that I found interesting.
What I've been doing over the Christmas quote unquote Christmas break is I got a couple of really cool Lego sets that I've been building.
That's
Yeah,
good.
that's what you were saying.
I just finished another one last night, so I'm gonna take a couple pictures and put them up on the Twitter either tonight or tomorrow.
So no one went out for New Year's Eve then?
Nope, I was
I went to work.
drinking and building Legos.
Oh, that's probably the best. Okay, that's pretty cool.
I was drinking beer and playing RDR2.
Nice.
I wasn't drinking, but I was probably playing Halo. Because like nighttime after the kids go to bed, that's my time to play. So
Yep.
I don't. Sometimes I play during the day, but a lot of the time, me and the wife just sit around and watch shows. She's still got a fucked up thumb, so
Yeah. I just went to work for like my New Year's Eve. So it was pretty nice. Got me out of trouble.
Yeah.
It's always nice when we have things that we can do to stay out of trouble for.
Oh yeah, Tim, because you're the type to constantly get into trouble.
Duh. That's why I keep working.
Nah, you're good.
Can't get into trouble when you're working, or at least you shouldn't.
Well, I
shouldn't.
mean,
Yeah, you shouldn't.
well, I mean, you can depending on who your coworkers are, but that's an entirely different story.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. I was young once too, guys.
Back in my day, when we had to walk uphill both ways in the snow barefoot.
Back in my day in 1999.
Timmy is the youngin' here.
Yeah.
No.
That's all right.
Oh well. That's just how it goes.
It is what it is.
All right, gents. Thanks for coming on, like always, and talking video games with me. Thank you to the audience. We'll talk to everybody next week. And enjoy your games and stay away from political bullshit.
Stay
Yeah.
out of trouble, friends.
Also, I do want to make an announcement real quick.
Oh.
Yep.
If you're listening to this on Spotify, welcome aboard. We're happy to have you.
Woohoo! All right,
Hey.
dude.
This will be our first episode that's going up on Spotify, and I'm going to try and put these episodes, the new episodes, up on Spotify from here on out because
Very cool.
it's easier to rip them from YouTube than it is Rumble to put
Right.
on YouTube. I didn't want to do it last year because we kind of jumped on YouTube towards like, you know, the latter part of last year, so I figured you know, with this being a new year and, you know, technically a new season, this would be a good time to get people on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So if you enjoy listening, please, you know,
Please let us know. Like,
For
comment,
sure.
and subscribe.
please,
sure.
you know, share the show. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you're listening there, or Spotify. And yeah, tell people about the show. So also not sure what Maxine and Max have planned for tomorrow, if anything, but I will be back for Whitfield Report Monday. Not sure who the guest is, although I have a suspicion who it might be.
Nice.
So
Nice. Oh, by the way, did you guys already do the Tim Awards?
not yet,
Next
but
week, I believe.
not yet, but we'll be doing that this Wednesday on the Whitfield Report.
Oh, I guess I gotta go ahead and make a feature.
Yes, you do. So
Well, I'll talk to you guys later, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
alrighty,
good.
sir.
You as well. Enjoy your night. Talk to everybody
too.
next week.
All right. Peace.